Hello everyone, I'm Shane Schultz and you're watching the Zubia Live channel. Zubia Live is your interactive live streaming video community specializing in health and wellness topics that affect you. You can always find us on social media at Zubia Live or ZubiaLive.com. Today we're very excited to bring you another episode of the Dr. Jeff Show, hosted by none other than Dr. Jeff Gardere. Dr. Jeff is a board-certified psychologist and is well known in the entertainment industry as well as his community. Dr. Jeff, it's great to have you here today.
Hello all and welcome to the show. Shane, thank you for that great introduction as always. Folks, we want to hear your voice, your thoughts, your questions on today's topic. So make sure you post your comments on Facebook or Twitter at Zubia Live or email me at drjeff@zubialive.com. All right, so I know you've all seen the luxury car commercials, right? The snow, the minimans, waking up on Christmas morning, and the hubby, ooh, what a good hubby, has a brand new luxury car sitting in the driveway with a bow on it. Lovely. Aww. But this is not a real scene for most Americans, folks. According to an NBC News poll from a few years ago that I found, but still valid, in my opinion, as the economy has not changed dramatically, of people who made more than $50,000 per year, some 45% of Americans state that they would rather skip Christmas. Why? Because they just don't have the money. They can't cover the holiday expenses. Some 41% plan to use layaway programs because it's an option that's out there, paying on time, but that does speak to not having the cash. Others say that the holidays are a source of worry when they consider that they're living paycheck to paycheck. As a matter of fact, about 41% said they would only be able to get by for 2 weeks without a paycheck, while an additional 25% say that they could only survive a month. Ouch! So the holidays are expected to only make the situation worse, right? About 59% of those in that survey I talked about expect to carry debt with them into the new year, including more than half, some 54%, who say they earn more than $100,000 a year. So even those what I call the worried well financially can't make ends meet. So the bottom line, the holidays are stressful enough, but add in the financial issues and the financial expectations, especially of those little ankle biters, you know what I'm talking about, the little kiddies who are expecting the latest toys and electronic gizmos and gadgets. Oh my goodness, that stress level goes through the roof. So today we will address how to cope and conquer the financial stress that comes with the holidays. And Shane, one of the things we talked about is it's not just the financial stress, which is what we will be focusing on today, but from our other shows, people who have physical illness, people who have pre-existing emotional conditions, and now add on this financial stress. Well, it's not just a holiday, it can be hell. Don't you agree?
Well, being a health advocate, both for medical conditions and mental health conditions, I do know that there are a lot of people out there who are struggling right now. And that is common, you know, with the holidays, right on through Thanksgiving, going into Christmas. They have a lot of what's called the guilt complex of what it is that they're not able to provide, because a lot of these situations or conditions bring people to a lower income because they can't work 40 hours a week. So they'll be working part-time, or they'll be on disability. And believe me, folks, being on disability certainly limits what the possibilities are financially when it comes to the holidays. So it's very important in order to be able to look at the holidays a little bit differently than just the materialistic way. And I know that that's what you want to talk about today.
Absolutely. And Shane, I know you advocate for a lot of people with disabilities, and certainly we are addressing them as part of our audience, as they are a major part of your audience. But I also want to speak to those people who may not have disabilities, people who are what, you know, I referred to this before, the worried well. These are people who may have some minor health issues, some minor emotional issues. But the bottom line is we're all in this together, where the holidays should be about fun. They should be about sharing. They should be about gifts. They should be about just being together. enjoying each other's company, holidays have turned out to be so difficult for us. And we've been addressing all of this in many of our shows, the physical stressors, the emotional stressors, and today the financial stressors, which make it so much more difficult. So here are some of the tips I have, and Shane, jump in at any time. Ricky Jackson, our intern, joining us again. Ricky, if you have anything you want to throw in there, please do so. Because Ricky, I understand that you had a very difficult childhood and that your parents rarely bought you anything, right?
Right. So I had to beg until they finally got it or could afford it.
Right. Yeah. And that was a lot of pressure on them, but a lot of pressure on you.
Yes, because I want to keep up with my friends, and I want to have the latest toys, gadgets. So it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is something that all of us have dealt with. So why don't we get started on some of the empowerment strategies? The first one is, and you've heard this on the show, Shane, many times, our experts have talked about it, budget. That is the number one tip. So set a general budget, right, for each person in the family and stick to it. Now, I talked about on other shows how we make ourselves feel guilty and that we can't provide, but don't let our kids make us feel guilty, because as we just heard from Ricky, they'll beg and beg and beg, and you'll say, okay, all right, fine, just take the credit card, and now you're further in debt, and that's not what the holidays should be about. So set that budget, stay with it. You are the alpha, you are the role models, your kids will understand. So set that budget and stay with it, no matter how much they boo-hoo-hoo. Also, here's another really good strategy, I think. Instead of spending money on each child, why not put money together, plan it throughout the year, and buy one big budget item, something that you can get that is not that expensive. We know things aren't that expensive as they used to be as far as electronics. So maybe a nice flat screen TV, you can get that pretty inexpensively at this point. But instead of buying for each child, just buy for the family. Now, Shane, remember that toy called the Wii?
I remember the Wii. Yes, I remember it very well.
Tell me about your experience with the Wii. This is the interactive, hardware, software, whatever they call it. It's a game console that you interact with your TV. Tell me your experience real quick with that, with the family.
Well, I know that when we got it, I know that, no pun intended, but it went from having kids from anywhere between 4 to 12 to 18 to kids who are 65 years old and older, because it was amazing as to where you have that interaction together, a whole bunch of laughs, a whole bunch of fun. Nobody did it perfectly, and it was something that everybody was learning together and just having a great time. And I can actually mention another one for you, and this will actually bring you back a little bit, Dr. Jeff, and that's the game Twister. Do you remember that?
I remember Twister, absolutely.
Right? So it was like basically
a dial, and then
you had your
climb over someone else and so on.
Yeah, you had basically a picnic table cloth, there with a bunch of circles on it. And then all of a sudden, everybody is trying to get, to work their way and entangled and everything like that. Something as simple as that brought on the best memories when it came to Christmas and, and those types of things. And you really make a good point. It's not the materials that actually bring the memories or leave the memories from these holidays. For me, it's the facial expressions. It's my grandmother's laugh. It's the eyes. I remember giving a gift to my then fiance, who, her eyes just like lit up. And that's what I remember. And I remember having that opportunity to be able to see that. And I remember that years after. So, this is something that is important to know.
Well, you said it was a fiance, so obviously you didn't give her the diamond ring.
I told you I had my own history.
See, this is where you may not want to go cheap, folks, all right? Take Shane's advice. But yes, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you could do that. Shane is absolutely correct. You get your board games. It allows us to interact. The Wii, which is budget item that you got, maybe a little bit expensive, but for the whole family, so you end up saving money. But now family members who've been sedentary, now you get them to exercise more. The bottom line is you are purchasing something or getting something that allows the family to interact, and you're not paying a whole bunch of money. The other thing you could do is, instead of buying big, how about buying small? Now, you've heard of this term, tchotchkes, socks, of course, small items, but buy them in abundance. They cost $1. You get them from the dollar store, $2 or $3. So it's not so much what the item is, it's the fun that the family has sitting around and actually taking the wrapping paper, ripping the wrapping paper off, and just opening one present after another. And that's what it's about. It's about the joy of opening the gifts. It doesn't matter what the gifts are, because studies show that whatever gifts, expensive toys you buy the kids, within a couple of weeks, guess what? They're collecting dust somewhere else. So you don't need to do that. What else can you do, which is really important? Well, you can avoid stressful shopping. Now, Shane, you watch CNN, HLN, Fox Network, all these shows that I've been on. And what am I talking about? Well, the destruction, the accidents, the injuries, people getting shot after Black Friday, on Black Friday. They're all lined up, ready to buy a store buster. That's just too much stress. Sometimes it's too much money. Sometimes it's too much effort. So guess what? Go online. Yes, I'm telling you to go online. You don't have to buy on a Freaky Friday or Monday, or a Terrible Tuesday, all of these names they have for these shopping days. If you go online, you do your research, you look long enough, you'll find something that works within the budget. Now, we talked about this whole idea of guilt. Well, you know what makes you feel guilt other than yourself?
Yeah, society.
And
other than myself?
And society.
And family?
And family.
And public? I don't know what.
Going back to those TV commercials. All right?
Yeah.
Even if they're not telling you to buy a lot, they're
Yeah.
showing other people who are buying a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Entertainment, right?
That's right. Okay, so the medium is the massage, and watching all these people just whooping it up on the holidays with all these gifts and everything else goes back to that car. Even if it's not buying a car, just the fact that they're running around with all these items that they've purchased. If it's stressing you out, if it's stressing your family out because they want to keep up with the Joneses, then turn off the TV. Play music. You remember that the singer Theodore Pendergrass?
I do remember that.
Singer. He had a song called Turn Off the Lights. It's about, getting romantic with his partner and so on.
Yep.
So take the lyric from that song where he says, turn off the lights. Well, I just say, turn it off. Turn off the TV. As he sang, I said, turn it off. Turn it off. Okay? So don't let that make you feel guilty. The other thing that's important, creating memories. Now, this is something that doesn't cost much. Just go ahead and buy yourself an arts and crafts kit. Find some old photos. Find something that means something to someone in the family, and just make a project out of it and give it to them. This is part of creative gift giving. This is part of creating memories. And again, studies show it's the memories that have all of the value, and you're building something distinctive. And if you really want to save money, you don't have to spend money. What about volunteering? Remember that old saying, Shane? It is better to give than to receive. So be, again, a role model for your family. Take your whole family. And Ricky and Shane, here's something else that doesn't really cost much money. It's volunteering to help those in need, helping out family who are in need. And so that means that you can bring your family to a nursing home, a homeless shelter, to a senior neighbor next door, just to be able to help them out. It costs you nothing. And that old saying is so true. It is better to give than to receive. Right, Shane?
Absolutely. I got to tell you, I've actually been in homeless shelters during Christmas. And so I know what that feels like. And I can tell you this, that when somebody took the time in order to give their time to me at the, at that day, it didn't necessarily even have to be on Christmas. It was just in that time period as to where they would share their experiences, their memories. They would share some food, but they would just take some time, maybe talk about some songs or whatever the case may be. It definitely does make a difference. And it makes a difference for those also, Dr. Jeff, for those who were disability. Maybe you can go to somebody who might not be able to get out of the house,
Yes.
who are finding themselves indigent for what it is that they're going through. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunities to volunteer and make a difference, and it brings back the old values of Christmas, doesn't it?
When you talk about the values, really the message here is it really is about helping other people, reaching out to others over the holidays. And when your kids begin to learn those lessons at a very young age, then guess what? One day we may not have to do this show on financial stress during the holidays, because your kids won't be about gimme, 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 but what can I give, give, give.
Yes.
All right, folks, that's all that we have for you today on our empowerment tips and helping to reduce that financial stress. I hope that it's really helped you all. And in our next few shows, we will share with you more tips and empowerment strategies on getting through the stress of the holidays and keeping them joyful. Don't forget, you could send comments, some of your own tips, empowerment strategies on financial issues or emotional issues that people deal with, or physical issues, how they can get through them. You can do that by following me and posting on my Instagram at Dr. Jeff Gardere, or Twitter at Dr. Jeff Gardere, or you could check me out on Facebook on Dr. Jeff Gardere. Okay, tune in next week for another Dr. Jeff show. And you can also check out our companion show, Up Close and Personal Workshops with Dr. Jeff Gardere. Here's an opportunity, Shane, where people can actually talk to us face to face. We can answer questions. It's driven by you, our listeners / viewers. Folks, I just want you to have a great holiday. And as I always say, for heaven's sake, let's make America kind again. Thank you, everyone. Shane, take it away.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jeff. We're certainly looking forward to next week's show and more. If you'd like to learn more about the up close and personal workshops that Dr. Jeff is talking about, as well as the Dr. Jeff Show or the Zubia Live channel, visit us on our social media at Zubia Live or the website zubialive.com. But for now, we'd like to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.